Hey guys, welcome back to Explore Electronics. Here is the model question paper solution to the two model question papers which is released by VTU for the subject Principles of Communication Systems. This is a fourth sem subject with the code BEC402. So here is the model question paper. You can see this is model question paper 1 and this is model question paper 2 for the subject Principles of Communication Systems. So quickly let us walk through the question papers so that we can come to know which are all the important questions also in each modules. Define probability, illustrate relationship between sample space, events and probability. Here is the first question. Define autocorrelation and cross correlation functions. So these are the repeatedly asked questions in related to correlation, autocorrelation, cross correlation and things you can easily expect in exams. And develop a program to generate probability density function of a Gaussian distribution function. This is also a kind of question repeatedly asked. And in the choice question, you can see conditional probability is asked and you need to prove this. And then outline random process and illustrate an ensemble of sample functions with a neat diagram. And show that Gaussian process x of t is applied to a stable linear filter. Then the random process y of t developed at the output of the filter is also Gaussian. So these are the questions from model paper 1 for module 1. If you see the model question paper 2, here is the first question, random variable set to be uniformly distributed over the interval a comma b. Determine the probability density function of uniformly distributed RV. And then determine the characteristic function of a Gaussian random variable with a given mean and variance. And prove the following two properties of autocorrelation function of a random process. These are the two properties you need to prove. This is question 1. Question 2, again define correlation, covariance and correlation coefficient. Explain the central limit theorem as applied to Gaussian random process. Define autocorrelation function and cross correlation function. State and prove the properties of ACF. So the question repeated here, autocorrelation and cross correlation function. Here also they have asked to explain the autocorrelation and cross correlation functions. That's why I said this is the very important question you can easily expect in examination. Then coming to module 2 here. Module 2, the first question is interpret the concepts of modulation index, percentage of modulation, write the necessary equations. Here the modulation index is asked. Here explain the amplitude modulation in time domain, frequency domain with the necessary expressions and illustrations is asked. And then here they have given a problem on AM. You need to solve and calculate the minimum and maximum upper and lower side bands and the total bandwidth occupied by the AM station. And here they have asked to write the square law circuit and expressions and explain the generation of AM. And explain high level collector modulator with the neat diagram. And here write a MATLAB program to generate AM signal and demodulation of waveforms and to display its spectrum is asked. Coming to fourth question, outline the diode detector, AMD modulator with necessary block diagram and waveforms. And then there is a problem again to calculate the total power and power in one sideband and generate block diagram for an FDM system. Here also the problem is there on AM to calculate RF input power in the final stage. AF power is required for 100% modulation is asked. And then explain with neat diagram is demodulator using diode detector. Here also diode detector is there. Here also diode detector is there, which is very, very important. And then explain with the diagrams working principle of lattice type balanced modulator. Remember, AM question is very important here, and also the square law circuit and all also important. And modulation index question can also be asked. And one detector question will be there, like diode detector can be asked, or any demodulator kind of things also they are going to ask. And problem will be there on AM for sure in exam. Here also you can see there are 2-3 problems asked out of 2 model papers. That is about module 2, that is amplitude modulation. Coming to module 3, compare and contrast FM and AM. So this is also a repeatedly asked question. Generally a theory question will be asked on FM and AM differences usually in some exams. And then neat diagram the concept of frequency modulation with an IC VCO is asked, and with the block diagram explain super heterodyne receiver. This is also a very, very common question we are seeing from many question papers. And coming to the sixth question, identify a method to use convert PM signal into FM signal. This is the question asked here. And then define PLL with block diagram, explain PLL along with capture and lock ranges is the question. Interpret the concept of mixer with needs schematic diagram. And if you see the model question paper 2, here is a problem on FM receiver. You need to calculate the frequency deviation and improved output signal to noise ratio. And with the need diagram, explain FM modulated wave. This is the question you can easily expect in exam. And here is the question on working principle of frequency modulation using crystal oscillator. And then here noise suspensions, noise suppressions in FM, effects in FM. Compare FM using crystal oscillator circuits with FM using varactors is asked. General block diagram of a super heterodyne receiver. So here also the common question is super heterodyne receiver here also, and here also a super heterodyne receiver is asked. You can see any other question papers also on communication. This super heterodyne receiver will be there for sure. And come to module 4. Module 4, advantages of digital signal over analog. This is a general question they have asked. Here sampling is very important, yes. State sampling with neat sketches and equations, and what are all the challenges faced with Nyquist criteria for sampling. This is the sure question. You can easily expect sampling theorem question to explain the Nyquist criteria and all. Here also you can see the very first question is state and prove sampling theorem. And here this question is also repeatedly asked. The data stream will be given and you need to write the unipolar NRZ, polar NRZ, unipolar RZ. These kind of question will be repeatedly asked in exams. Explain generation detection of PPM signals is asked here. And what is the aperture effect in PAM signals, how it can be minimized is asked here. Here also aperture effect in PAM signals and how it can be minimized. I think this is repeated. Here also the multiplexing, why it is required in communication, explain the working of TDM. Here also multiplexing, why it is required, and explain the working of TDM is asked. And the last question is explain the basic elements of PCM system with necessary diagrams. Here exercise examples from text 2 in the prescribed syllabus 7.3 to 7.17. They have generally given these examples can be asked. And in module 5, intersymbol interference, outline baseband binary data transmission systems with neat block diagram and equations. Here also intersymbol interference, outline the baseband. The question is repeated here. And also to generate the plot eye diagram, here also plot eye diagram, generate and plot eye diagram. Here the concept of noise in cascade stages with diagram is asked. Write Friss formula and mention its terms. Here explain the bandwidth requirements in TI system is asked. And then the choice question here, the last question is explain the following concepts briefly. Nyquist criterion for distortion less transmission and baseband M array PAM transmission. Develop a code to generate NRZ RZ pulse and define signal to noise ratio, different types of external and internal. Here again the first question is same as the model paper 1. This question is also repeated. Develop a code to generate NRZ RZ pulse, it is also repeated. Define signal to noise ratio, this is also repeated. So these are the questions which they have given in the model question paper. The solutions to those is given over here. The link of this PDF is given in the description of this video. You can check the description and you can download this model paper 1 solutions completely and you can refer. And also the model paper 2 solutions are there. Okay, model paper 2 solutions also there here. The PDF link is also given in the description to download this. You can go there and download this also and you can refer this. It will be helpful for your exams. So this is about the model papers related to PCS subject, and the solutions which is there in the description you can download by your own. Thank you.